Welcome to District Command Central, your go-to source for the latest news and updates on the Washington Commanders. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a play. The Washington Commanders are entering the final stretch of a season that has been nothing short of frustrating, disappointing, and riddled with injury setbacks. And their latest move is indicative of a team scrambling to patch holes and find some semblance of defensive stability. After their Week 16 matchup against the Philadelphia Eagles, which ended in a 29-18 loss, the Commanders officially fell to 4-11 on the season. Although the scoreboard suggests a reasonably close contest, with a late touchdown followed by a successful two-point conversion narrowing the margin, the reality is that the Eagles were in control throughout the game. This defeat also solidified the Eagles' clinching of the NFC East for the second consecutive season, leaving Washington firmly outside the playoff picture. Injuries have plagued the team all year, undermining any hope of a late-season resurgence. Star quarterback Jayden Daniels has been sidelined for the remainder of the season, and his absence has placed additional pressure on backup Marcus Mariota, who is himself dealing with nagging injuries that limit his effectiveness. Despite the team's poor record, the Commanders are still committed to competing in their remaining games, particularly their two upcoming divisional matchups, which could serve as an opportunity to salvage some pride in what has otherwise been a tumultuous 2025 campaign. In response to their ongoing defensive challenges, Washington made a notable addition to their roster, claiming defensive tackle Shy Tuttle off waivers, according to sources including Adam Schefter. The move is clearly aimed at shoring up the Commanders' interior defensive line, which has been beset by injuries and inconsistent play. Against the Eagles, the Commanders allowed 207 rushing yards, highlighting a glaring weakness in their defensive front. Veteran defensive tackle Eddie Goldman remains sidelined following a concussion, while Darren Payne is questionable with a back ailment, leaving the Commanders thin in the trenches. Tuttle's arrival is expected to provide both depth and experience, giving defensive coordinator a bit more flexibility in rotation and game planning. While this addition may not dramatically alter the trajectory of a season already lost in terms of playoff contention, it does signal that the organization is committed to addressing gaps, testing potential long-term contributors, and preparing for the upcoming matchup against the Dallas Cowboys on Christmas Day. Both teams will enter that game having been eliminated from playoff contention, which may impact the intensity of the contest. Yet for Washington, it remains an opportunity to evaluate players and experiment with personnel before the offseason. Shy Tuttle's career trajectory offers an interesting narrative for Commanders fans looking for reasons to be optimistic, even if only in a developmental sense. Tuttle began his NFL journey in 2019, signing with the New Orleans Saints as an undrafted free agent, a path that has required perseverance, adaptability, and resilience. After several seasons of proving himself in various defensive schemes, Tuttle secured a 3-year, $19.5 million contract with the Carolina Panthers prior to the 2023 season, signaling the league's recognition of his potential impact as a reliable interior defensive lineman. However, the Panthers released him during training camp in 2025, a move that surprised some analysts but reflected the often unpredictable nature of NFL roster management. Tuttle then landed with the Tennessee Titans at the start of the current season, appearing in 10 games and starting only once while recording a total of 11 tackles, 6 of which were solo efforts. His limited playing time in Tennessee may have masked his abilities, but the Commanders' decision to claim the 30-year-old veteran demonstrates their interest in leveraging his experience, size, and rotational potential to address a defensive line that has struggled to stop opposing run games consistently throughout the season. The timing of Tuttle's acquisition could not be more critical for Washington, particularly as they prepare to face the Cowboys in Week 17. The interior of the defensive line is central to both run defense and pass rush, and with Goldman still recovering from concussion and Payne's status uncertain, adding Tuttle provides an immediate plug-in solution. While the Cowboys themselves have been eliminated from playoff contention, the matchup carries both symbolic and practical significance for the Commanders. It is an opportunity for the coaching staff to evaluate depth players in live game situations, test new combinations along the defensive front, and gain insights that could influence offseason personnel decisions. Tuttle's experience in multiple defensive systems, combined with his tenure across 3 NFL organizations, positions him as a versatile piece capable of contributing in multiple roles, whether in base defensive sets, goal line scenarios, or rotational packages designed to keep the defensive line fresh. The Commanders' coaching staff will likely integrate him gradually, assessing his conditioning, familiarity with the playbook, and chemistry with existing starters before entrusting him with more significant snaps. Beyond the immediate tactical implications, Tuttle's claim also reflects a broader theme of the Commanders' 2025 season: resilience in the face of adversity. Injuries to key players, underwhelming performances, and repeated setbacks have marked this campaign, yet the organization continues to demonstrate a willingness to act decisively when gaps arise. Claiming a player like Tuttle off waivers illustrates proactive roster management, a willingness to embrace opportunities that may have been overlooked by other teams, and a focus on building depth that could pay dividends not only in the remaining games of this season, but also as the foundation for the future. While the optics of adding a defensive tackle to a struggling team may not generate immediate fanfare, the strategic thinking behind the move is sound. Defensive linemen with Tuttle's size, experience, and adaptability are often undervalued assets, capable of stabilizing rotations and mentoring younger players. His presence could also alleviate some of the pressure on less experienced defensive linemen who have been forced into heavier workloads due to the injuries to Goldman and Payne. The Commanders' front office is undoubtedly looking beyond the current season, and Tuttle's addition fits into that longer-term vision. The team is evaluating its roster, preparing for free agency, and likely considering draft strategy with the intention of reinforcing the defensive line in future seasons. Tuttle's experience provides a benchmark against which younger players can be measured, offering a tangible example of NFL readiness, work ethic, and positional technique. Furthermore, his claim off waivers demonstrates that the Commanders remain active participants in the player acquisition process, willing to make moves that signal both ambition and practicality. Even in a season that has largely been disappointing, these types of strategic acquisitions can influence locker room morale, provide new energy in practices, and create competition for playing time, all of which contribute to organizational culture and the development of younger talent. As the Commanders move toward the final 2 games of their season, their approach to these contests will reflect both the immediate realities of a 4-11 record and the ongoing effort to establish a foundation for the future. The Week 17 matchup against the Cowboys offers a chance to integrate Tuttle, test rotations, and evaluate emerging players, while simultaneously providing a stage to compete and show progress in a season that has frequently been marred by setbacks. The acquisition of Shy Tuttle is not a silver bullet, nor does it dramatically alter the Commanders' playoff prospects, which are effectively non-existent, but it represents a meaningful, deliberate step in addressing a critical area of weakness. Fans, analysts, and players alike will be watching closely to see how Tuttle acclimates, how the defensive line responds, and whether this addition can help the team achieve incremental improvements in run defense and interior pressure before the curtain falls on the 2025 season. If you're enjoying the coverage, make sure to smash that like button and drop a comment with your thoughts on the Commanders' latest moves. We want to hear from you. The NFL world might be on the brink of one of the most dramatic shakeups in recent memory, and all signs are pointing toward Washington Commanders making moves that could completely reshape their roster. Rumors have been swirling for weeks about a so-called full-scale overhaul, and sources close to the team suggest that this is far from idle chatter. The Commanders are reportedly preparing for a sweeping reform that could see some of their most prominent stars, players who have been central to the team's identity, on the move. Among those reportedly on the chopping block are quarterback Jayden Daniels, wide receiver Deebo Samuel, and another household name in the league, Terry McLaurin. If these rumors hold any truth, the landscape of the NFC East, and arguably the league as a whole, could look unrecognizable in the near future. The whispers in locker rooms and among insiders paint a picture of a franchise that is not content with incremental change. Sources claim that Washington is actively exploring multiple avenues to free up cap space, and the departure of high-profile players seems increasingly inevitable. Jayden Daniels, whom many thought could develop into a cornerstone quarterback, has allegedly become expendable in the eyes of the front office. It is suggested that internal discussions have centered around his consistency, decision-making under pressure, and the team's long-term vision at the quarterback position. Some insiders hint that there might be a hidden plan to bring in a veteran presence or even target a top prospect in the upcoming draft, signaling a strategic pivot that could make Daniels' exit almost unavoidable. Meanwhile, Deebo Samuel, known for his electrifying plays and ability to change games in a single moment, is reportedly also facing uncertainty in the nation's capital. Sources close to the matter suggest that salary cap considerations are at the heart of the issue, and the front office may be weighing the financial implications of keeping a high-profile player versus spreading resources across the roster. There is speculation that Samuel's versatility, which has been both a blessing and a challenge for the Commanders, may have played a role in the decision-making process. Some insiders indicate that while Samuel brings unmatched talent, his injury history and usage patterns could make a high-stakes trade an appealing option for Washington, especially if it opens doors to acquiring multiple assets in return. Then there's Terry McLaurin, a player who has been a face of the franchise and a fan favorite. The idea that he could be moved has sent shockwaves through social media, as fans grapple with the possibility of losing one of the most reliable wideouts in the league. Rumors suggest that internal evaluations may have highlighted a mismatch between McLaurin's skill set and the current offensive philosophy. Some insiders hint that the team might be considering a shift toward a faster, more dynamic approach that emphasizes different types of offensive weapons, making McLaurin, despite his proven production, somewhat surplus to requirements. Others speculate that McLaurin could be part of a trade package designed to secure a high draft pick or multiple young talents to accelerate a broader rebuild. The speculation doesn't stop with these three names. Industry chatter points toward a domino effect, where the departure of Daniels, Samuel, and McLaurin could trigger additional moves across the roster. Sources suggest that the Commanders are in conversations with multiple teams about potential trades, free agency maneuvers, and even strategic draft positioning. Some insiders go as far as to hint that the organization may be planning a reset that goes beyond just marquee names, aiming to transform the team culture, coaching strategies, and long-term competitive outlook. The notion of a complete roster overhaul, once unthinkable, is now being treated as a realistic possibility, and the league is watching closely. It's worth noting that all of this remains in the realm of speculation, but the intensity of the whispers suggests that something substantial is afoot. Analysts point out that Washington's front office has historically been willing to make bold moves when they believe it serves the long-term vision, and the current climate appears no different. The concept of a paqueteo fechado, or a closed package of sweeping changes, seems to encapsulate the direction the team is allegedly heading. Some insiders believe that management is carefully timing the announcement of these moves to maximize strategic advantage, perhaps waiting until the market is primed for negotiations. The implications of such a strategy could be profound, not just for the Commanders, but for other franchises anticipating potential blockbuster trades or free agent signings. Fans are naturally divided over the potential exits of Daniels, Samuel, and McLaurin. Social media is alive with speculation, with some suggesting that the departures would be catastrophic for team morale, while others argue that bold moves are precisely what the Commanders need to reset and contend in a highly competitive division. Commentators have noted that this rumored overhaul could signal a shift in the team's identity, moving away from reliance on star power toward a more balanced, adaptable, and perhaps younger roster. There's even talk among insiders that the front office is carefully assessing the public narrative, seeking to manage fan expectations while negotiating quietly behind closed doors. If the rumors prove accurate, the ripple effects across the NFL could be substantial. Other teams might view Washington as an opportunity to acquire talent that was previously unattainable, while draft strategies and salary cap planning could be influenced league-wide. Experts speculate that a successful execution of such an overhaul could set a new standard for aggressive team management, demonstrating that even well-established stars are not immune to strategic repositioning. Conversely, a misstep could provoke backlash from fans, players, and the media, potentially destabilizing the franchise in ways that reverberate for multiple seasons. The stakes are undeniably high, and every insider source seems to agree that the Commanders are at a pivotal moment. While nothing has been officially confirmed, the chatter surrounding Jayden Daniels, Deebo Samuel, and Terry McLaurin paints a picture of a team on the edge of transformation. From locker room murmurs to front office deliberations, every piece of information points toward a scenario where change is not just likely, but inevitable. Whether this will result in a more competitive roster, a younger and more flexible team, or simply a period of adjustment remains to be seen. What is clear, however, is that the Washington Commanders are making waves that could reshape the NFC East and redefine expectation for the franchise in ways few anticipated just a short time ago. The NFL world, fans, and pundits alike are bracing for announcements that could alter the course of not just one team, but an entire division, and perhaps even influence the broader landscape of league strategy for years to come. As the rumor mill continues to churn, insiders urge patience and caution, emphasizing that the full extent of the so-called reform package is still unfolding. Negotiations, trades, and strategic maneuvers are likely ongoing behind the scenes, and while speculation is rampant, the final picture could include surprises that no one has yet considered. One thing seems certain. If the whispers about Jayden Daniels, Deebo Samuel, and Terry McLaurin are accurate, Washington is about to enter a bold, unpredictable, and potentially transformative chapter in its history. Fans should prepare for shockwaves, analysts for debates, and the league for the ripple effects of a franchise seemingly willing to redefine itself in pursuit of long-term success. The next few months could be pivotal, and for the Commanders, nothing less than a complete reset might be on the table. Thanks for tuning into District Command Central. Make sure to subscribe and follow us for all the Commanders news you need. Until next time, keep the faith and hail to the Commanders.